Elander, my son. This place keeps showing me his visage, keeps telling me that I can bring him back. Bring him back if I only just give in. My son is dead. Certainly miracles can happen. They can be performed, but never without a cost. Never without a steep price to pay. And what is it truly that returns? And what would I be giving up? I do miss him so. I'm afraid for what I might do. I am but human, and I am weak. I place my trust in Lathander. He has guided me here. He has shown me what must be done. Nothing will stand in our way. Not even you, Elander. This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
The two figures have finally emerged from the mirrors. One figure is your father, Roshek, just as he looked on the day you challenged him to battle. Tall, a full-blooded orc, wearing battle armor and the symbols of your tribe, the symbols of leadership. Meanwhile, your son, Roman, is also there before you. He is cloaked and carrying some sort of book. You've never seen this book before, but he's holding it in a strange manner, and from one of his hands you could see a crackling of energy, magical energy. They both are just standing there for the moment, watching you both.
I look between the two. Do I see the similarities, Roman? Is he very much like you?
Yes, he is. He looks like a much younger version of me.
Huh. I think I draw the conclusion, seeing as how we've discussed this before. And, I say, what now to you, Roman?
Will you allow us to pass? I ask to my son.
No, father. No, not until you've answered for what you did to me. You left me. You left me and mother. No wonder I wanted more. You never let me do what I wanted. You said this sort of thing was dangerous. He sort of lifts the book and opens it, and it seems to be filled with arcane symbols, arcane rituals perhaps. I dabbled in things I shouldn't have, father. I guess I paid the price for that. But you should have been there to stop me. Why weren't you there, father?
I have not forgiven myself for that. I never will. But it was your choice at the end of the day. It was you who decided to do that. I could not protect you forever.
It was my choice to have the villagers try and kill me. It was my choice to have mother die defending me.
No, that was not your choice. No, but dabbling with things that no one should be dabbling with. That was your choice. I warned you. Why didn't you listen?
I did listen. I just didn't know. I didn't know what our blood meant. I don't think you knew either, did you? Or maybe you just didn't choose to tell me.
I did not. I still do not understand it, but There is something. That much I see now. There is something special.
Meanwhile, what are you doing, Orosha? Because this conversation takes place. Your father is just watching you, sternly, as he always used to when he was disappointed in you.
I feel we've spoken enough, me and him, in the dreams, whatever that was, the visions, other things. I only know what I've been told, and it was to not hesitate. So I raise my blade, and I get ready to fight him.
And he raises his own weapon, mirroring you almost, getting ready to fight as well, but he does not step forward to make the first move. Meanwhile, Roman, your son, just tilts his head at you and remarks, "You keep saying you could have stopped me. The truth is that you just didn't do anything to stop me. And the biggest thing of all is that you could bring me back. You could make amends. Yet you won't. Why won't you?"
That is not within my power. It is no longer possible. The chances of doing that are long gone, and doing so now would be violating the laws that govern the universe. It would be opening up to dark powers that Lathander forbids. No, I cannot bring you back. However much my heart screams for me to do it, I will not violate that. Not even for you.
Not even for me, Father. And yet you have violated so much here. Abandoned so many, committed so many crimes against the way of Lathander's doings. Lathander would not approve of any of this, Father. You know that. And yet, when it comes to the final thing, saving your son, that is finally when Lathander's rules and laws apply. I think you are a hypocrite, Father.
I think you're right. But at the end of the day, I must try. I must just do what I believe is right, and perhaps it will not have the consequences that I intended, but I know in my heart that this is a border I cannot cross, that this is where it must end, that if I cross over here, then I am lost forever.
He just looks down, and energy cackles from his hand. What do you two do? These beings do not make attempts to move towards you, but they are not moving out of the way either.
Interesting.
I shall look at my son and I cast Dispel Magic, thinking that perhaps this is some form of illusion or something unnatural. I mean, clearly it is that, but perhaps it can be removed. Perhaps it is just a game that the Count is playing with us. And I cast Dispel Magic on my son, aiming it for that book. It seemed to be where the power is coming from.
When you cast your spell, you do feel a shimmering through the air, but it seems to be repelled. You notice swirling coming from the mirror from behind. It's possible, Roman, you think, that if this is not a spell, it is more the effect of a magical artifact, and that can be very hard to dispel, at least with a simple dispel magic spell.
And I look at the mirror. The mirror, it is... in what state is it now?
It just looks like a normal mirror once again. These things have come out of it, and now the mirror behind just swirls dark and mysterious.
I look towards the mirror. I see... Does my son react to that?
He seems to mirror your eye movements, if anything.
Then I shall move up to the mirror, and I shall smash it with my mace.
You step towards the mirror, raising your mace to smash at it, but just as you're about to strike, you notice your son's body is now standing directly in the way. He looks at you defiant. What do?
I make the move and I smash towards the mirror. I try not to hit him, but if he's in the way, he is in the way. I do not believe that he is here. He cannot be. No, it is the mirror, I tell myself as I make my move.
Indeed, and you raise your mace to strike. Roshik, what are you doing at this point? Roman has now stepped forward, raised his mace, and looks ready to strike the mirror. What are you doing?
I am agreeing with his actions. I was just thinking to myself that these things came out of the mirrors. My dad, my father is imitating what I'm doing. So maybe this is some sort of image of ourselves. He's not saying anything either. There are questions that I want answers to, but I do not think he can grant them to me. I move forwards alongside Roman, and I try to make sure that my father doesn't attack him in case he attacks.
You move forwards, and your father just steps in your way. This happens almost simultaneously as Roman is about to smash down his mace. What do? You've now suddenly been blocked.
I'm torn in an instant between wanting to fight my father because I have that instinct in me still. I want to win, but I don't want to waste my energy against something that isn't real. I try to sort of swat his weapon aside with mine, telling him to step off.
You raise your weapon to swat him away, and he retaliates instantly, parrying your weapon perfectly. After all, it was just a swat, easy to parry. You have a few more seconds before Roman's attack lands. Does anything else occur in these few seconds, or do you just step back? Do you respond?
As he parries, I try to quickly take a relaxed posture, but swipe out with my shield, trying to get him off his feet out of nowhere.
Roman, your mace comes down hard, but not on the mirror. After all, your boy is far too in the way. You have wonderfully smashed his face in, though. His blood spills onto you. You can feel it on your skin. He wails in horror and despair. You blink and notice he's no longer cowled, carrying a book, weapon in hand. He's just your son. How he looked in the morning when he'd come down for breakfast. Well, other than the massive, horrific wound you've just inflicted on his face. What do?
I try to avoid being sucked in by this by moving against the mirror. If he's no longer in the way, so be it. And I try to smash the mirror yet again.
And yet he is always in the way, Roman. He is reflecting you after all. Again, you swing, you try to avoid, but he is unnaturally in front of you. And again, you beat him down. He's on his knees now, crying for his father, for his mother. He looks at you with tears of fear and misery. You have smashed his face in. You have beaten him down to the ground. While this is happening, Roshek, you have shield bashed your father away, and you have indeed bashed him off a little. He is bleeding from the lip. He just comes forward again. What do?
I take a step back and see what he does.
He simply steps back. You also at this point notice Roman in the process of beating his son to death. At least that's how it looks to you.
Don't waste your energy, I shout out. This is just waste of our time and our efforts.
And I'm besides myself. I do not know what is happening. Why can I not smash this mirror? I don't wish to hurt my son, but I cannot hurt him. He's already dead. This is just an illusion. It must be an illusion. Lathander, guide me. Lathander, guide me.
It's not him. They won't let us get through to the mirrors. Spotting the weaker target here, I also go for Roman's son, to strike him down and then go through to his mirror.
Indeed, and you step forwards, bringing your blade into attack on the boy, weeping helpless before you. And your blade comes down and goes straight through your father, straight into his gut. And he stands before you now, your blade deep in his chest, falling to his knees. He is not. You remember him. He is older now. Weaker looking, perhaps. He looks at you, a smirk coming on his features. He now remarks, "Of course, boy. Kill. You always did kill what got in your way in the end, didn't you, my son?"
I feel a sense of regret. And I hold my blade still there through him. And I bring my face close to his and I say, "What did you mean by dishonoring the dead?"
"You know what I mean, boy. At least take it off."
And I look down at the wooden necklace. "You mean this?"
He spits blood in your face. And yes, you look at the necklace. The necklace of your childhood. The one your mother made for you.
And I pull it off. And I hold it out towards him.
He looks at it. He grunts. And remarks, "Well, at least now it is not so bad. Though to wear it all this time, do you make a habit of wearing those you kill, wearing their precious things? My son, is that who you became when you left us?"
What do you mean I killed? I didn't. And I stumble for words, and I let the pendant fall to the floor.
And it falls to the floor, remaining there on the floor. Your father just looks at you, continuing to bleed from the sword you currently have in his chest. "Of course you killed, even from the very beginning."
And I pull out the sword in one motion and I go to smash the mirror.
Indeed you do, and your sword cleaves straight through your father's head, decapitating him. He slumps, his body falls. He is no longer in your way, although his head looks at you for a little moment more and remarks, "Even from the beginning, my boy, you were a killer. But at least you've dropped that which isn't yours." And the head goes silent.
And I go again to attack the mirror.
And you bring your blade against this mirrored surface, and it clangs off with a resounding sort of crystalline sound.
And I look inside it. Has it calmed down now? Can I go through it? Can I push it open?
You can try, do you?
Yeah.
You do, and it slowly begins to open. On your side, of course. Roman, you still have a son directly in front of you. On his knees currently, but still looking at you, weeping.
Do I see Roshek making progress on his end? Do I see that? Can I follow?
Roshek has defeated the orc in front of him. stabbed him through the chest, and then decapitated him. He does now seem to be able to begin pushing his side of the door open. What do you do?
If that is what must be done, then I will do it. I close my eyes and I do the deed. I try not to watch. I cannot watch, but it must be done. There is no other way. And it's not real. It's just a game. I tell myself it's just a game.
And you bring down your mace, and though you close your eyes, you cannot block out the feeling. You cannot block out the sounds. You can feel your son's body being crushed to death by your own hand, and his final, miserable, fearful crying out for his mother, as you kill him. As you open your eyes, and his mangled corpse is in front of you.
And I try to move past it and try to push through the mirror if I can.
And you join Roshek, and the door starts to come open easily. Now you both push it open. Roshek, what thoughts are going through your mind? The door is open. This obstacle has been overcome. But what did he mean, do you think?
What's that supposed to mean? Was my mother not my mother? Was my mother someone else? Someone who died giving birth to me? Is that what he meant? I don't know what else that could be. How could I possibly kill someone by just being born?
How indeed. Still, the door's open, and you are in a little tiny additional hallway that leads to a set of far more mundane looking wooden doors. What do you do?
I call back through the room over the corpses of whatever that was that we met. And I call for Esmeralda to see if there's a response from all the way over there.
No. You're too far away, it seems to make any heads or tails. You notice the doors are still firmly closed, and you can't really hear or see any movement beyond them.
Well, she will notice us moving on anyways through the ring. And I look to Roman and I say, so that was supposed to be your son, was it?
It was as I remember him. This devil, he truly takes pleasure in torturing us. That was sadistic and cruel, beyond anything I have ever seen or experienced. But now it is done. And whatever he throws at us next, it cannot be worse than this. I tell myself, knowing that I will regret those words.
That was not your son speaking to you. Or maybe it was. Maybe this place has contact with the dead of all realms. I'm not so sure anymore. The things that he said was not things that could have sprung from my mind. I wonder what he meant. Was I not my parents' son? Who did I kill when I was born?
There's a reason we're here. We have been chosen. We've been chosen by Lathander, and we've been chosen by his count, I believe. But the power of Lathander is stronger, and we'll finish this crusade. We will crush the devil. Yes, must remember that, Roshek. Nothing can stop us as long as we believe. As long as we believe that what we're doing is right, and that we don't question our actions. That is important. We must not question our actions. Yes?
Indeed. We must not hesitate. We must do this. And now I want to get down to the catacombs because I want to see what they have prepared for me. There's something for me there. Something meant for my hands. And this might lead onwards. I start moving up towards the doors.
As Roshek begins to move to the doors, you, Roman, take just a moment to look back, just a small moment. And there's something that wasn't there before. There's a light. You can't quite tell where it's coming from, but there's definitely something lighting the area. In a kind of radiant way, almost like sunlight or moonlight or something. It's just a little behind you. What do you do, Roman?
But seeing that light, that would certainly catch my interest. I try to identify where it's coming from. Is there a threat nearby, or what is it?
Just around the corner. If you've just stepped through these doors, you're pretty sure you'd see where it was coming from if you just stepped back a few steps.
No. He's trying to trick us again. We must move forward. I follow Roshek.
You turn to follow Roshek, and you can feel this light starting to just come around you. Do you turn behind? It's right behind you, you think, at the moment.
If it is right behind me, then I shall look at it. What is it?
You turn and see a woman. A woman is trying to reach out a hand to you. She is translucent and shimmering, but she glows with something far beyond those other apparitions. No, she's glowing with light.
Then I reach out my hand to touch her.
Roshek, you've just turned to get ready to open these doors, and you just sort of notice Roman stopped, and you turn and see him reaching out to a glowing white figure. What do you do?
What are you doing?
I am fully focused on this being in front of me. I do not respond to what Roshek is saying.
The being reaches out and takes you by the hand, and everything slows. Everything goes out of focus. You can only really pay attention suddenly to this being and yourself. What do you do? She's holding your hand. She's looking at you with concern.
Markovia? Is that you?
She smiles and whispers. Her words are very hard to hear, but this close, perhaps, they are legible enough. Yes.
Why is our blood special?
Blessed by Lathander. Our family was always blessed by Lathander.
Is that why I am here? To fulfill his crusade? That is what I believe. I'm here on a mission from him. Am I correct about that?
Lathander does as he will. We are his instruments by his command, not by our own. It is not that you are here to fulfill a mission. It is that a mission must be fulfilled. You must not forget. And her words seem to sort of distort a little. She comes closer. I can help a little. So much effort. I cannot help others. But our blood I can help.
Then help me. I need your help.
And you feel a shimmering warmth surround you. You sense something flowing into you, flowing from this being. As it flows into you, you see her light dim. Perhaps not totally, but definitely dim a little. She breathes in and out, or rather seems to give the impression of breathing in or out. And you feel renewed, you feel healed, rested, or your power for now coming back to you. Although, this does not extend, of course, to your amulet. That does not regain energy, but the rest of you does. What do you do now?
Thank you. Thank you, Markovia. The mission will be fulfilled. I will live up to the promises, and I will leave this place.
Did we... still in Beregost? Do we still live in Beregost?
Yes, that is home. That is where my family rests, where their graves are. That is where I must go back to. I must go back to the Song of the Morning Temple, and I must continue serving Lathander in the way that I was meant to after I've completed this task for him. And then I will live the rest of my days in peace, nurturing the memories of those that I lost. And I will ask for forgiveness. Yes, for the many sins that I have committed here. I am not sure that I will be forgiven, but I must try.
I am proud of my sister. I loved her so.
Sister? Is that Maya?
She shakes her head. She laughs a little. She remarks, "Many years, Roman. Many, many years. My sister remained. I came here."
You came here. What did you come here to do?
To spread the word of Lathander in a dark land. To stand against all evils, no matter what. We held out for so long. Only me in the end, and my final death here. You must complete the mission. You remember now, I hope. Remember, you are not important. Only his will, and our blood, and the one who has wronged us as well. You will need my help then as well, I feel. Yes. And she looks pained and begins to fade, and already she's moving away. What do you do as this happens?
Thank you. I will complete the mission now. I turn around and go back to Roshek.
Roshek. Roman seemed to be speaking to some weird shimmering light. Now it is gone, and he has returned to you. What do you make of this?
So, what was that all about? I remember something about Markovia from, well, the chapel or the temple that we visited. You are related to this saint somehow.
That is what I am led to believe and what she has shown me, and her power has blessed me, and I am again whole. I am again ready to take on our foes. I have a mission to complete here. We have a task, a great task, that must be completed in the name of Lathander. Yes, we will bring light. Nothing can stop us now.
So, I'd heard what she said, that she came here to do something to spread the light, but I suppose she must have not completely succeeded. Still, she seems to have made an impression, seeing as how she was important and worshipped. Now you can finish it, together with me, with the amulets and the blade. Yeah, that's what we came here to do. We came here to finish what she started, what the wizard started, what all those people marching to the castle started. What they couldn't do, we will do.
Yes, Rorschach. Yes.
And you see my eyes looking fierce and intent. Right. And I turn back to the hall and I see, what do we have in front of us now?
A double wooden door leading onwards.
I nod towards Roman and I start making towards the door.
Yes, and I follow as well. The road is clear now. We know what must be done.
You enter a large chamber filled of brooding darkness. Empty sconces line the walls of this room, and thick cobwebs cover the ceiling, blocking it slightly from view. You are entering for a singular double door. There doesn't seem to be any other exits or entrances to this room. As you come in, to your right-hand side, you can see a great billowing window. Curtains currently covering it, but the storm from outside can still be heard and seen. Situated in the middle of the room is a large wooden throne, upon which sits an individual drinking from a glass of wine, one hand on the wine glass and the other hand sort of toying with a weird little crystal type thing, hard to see from this point. Right next to the wooden throne are two large dire wolves, currently seated in obedience. What do you do as you enter this room? It's quite large. These figures are at least 40 feet away from you at this point.
I stop as I see them there. I squint and I try to make out who it is.
Yes. Roman, you step by Rorschach, I imagine. Is that right? What do you do?
Yes, I too follow into the room, trying to make out who it is that is situated on that throne.
The doors you hear gently closing behind you as you both enter, and a flash of lightning illuminates the room, and there is no mistaking the form of Strahd von Azurovich as he raises his head and nods to you both in greeting. He takes a sip from his drink and remarks, "Finally, you have come. Finished running around my home, destroying my furniture and attacking my servants?"
Well, I take it this is the auditorium.
Well observed.
Sorry for taking so long then.
I am a patient man. I can always wait.
Did you enjoy the show that we put on?
He gives a little shrug. Mildly amusing for the most part. You've destroyed a few things, though, that will take time to repair. Very rude of you.
You seem disappointed.
I am a little bored. I expected you here far sooner. Still, you are here. I suppose it's time for me to get down on my knees and beg for mercy. The chosen heroes have finally come, done what no one else could do, assembled all my greatest weaknesses, and brought them before me. Truly I am doomed. And he smiles.
Yes. Your time has come. I hope you've made the best of it.
Perhaps. I suppose I only have one question then. Why?
Yeah. I suppose that is our question to you, isn't it? Why did you bring us here? I know that you just wanted some entertainment, But it seems that you got more than you bargained for.
Definitely. That's my answer then. What is yours? And before you answer, priest, no, I have no interest in what you have to say. You never speak the truth. You always lie or use excuses. Roshek, though, at least speaks from the heart. So yes, Roshek. Why do you wish to kill the devil?
I suppose that question from the start was to get out of here. Now, it's just become a purpose, really. Something to show my strength, a test, if you will. I've failed at so much this far. If this gives me a reason to, well, if this is to be my show of strength, then I suppose that's what's been chosen for me.
There are many things chosen for you, Roshek. It seems a bit of a waste to throw some of that away on simply a test of strength. But I suppose that is your answer then. You wish to kill me simply because it is a test for you?
Huh. Yeah. It's my chance to feel alive.
Yes, I can respect that. Now, Roman, are you ready to actually speak the truth this time? I don't want any platitudes, no veiled sarcasm. I really want to know why you wish to kill me. It's definitely not to save the people of this land, because if that were true, you would have saved the people of this land, which you have not done at all.
I am here to bring back the light that you have taken from this land. I am here to bring back the glory of Lathander, the glory of the Morning Lord. That is why I am here. And yes, that will make life better for the people here. It will make life better for all of us, and I will be able to leave this place and go back to where I belong, and go back to remembering my family and serving my God. And then we can end this stupid game that you are putting us through, and you can perhaps even rest some. Wouldn't that be something for you?
There is no rest for anyone in these lands. I'm surprised you haven't noticed yet. Still, I expected an answer like that, although I'll just say one thing for my amusement. I won't reiterate, of course. Would it make a difference if I told you that killing me would not achieve any of those goals you just said? Going home, of course, I could have done a very long time ago. I was going to offer it when you were last here. After all.
What do you mean? After the ceremony? You were gonna just send us home after us witnessing what's... Is that it?
There were many things we were going to discuss, Roshek. But then you ran off. Didn't even attend my wedding.
Well, pardon me for not trusting your intentions, but we've hardly had any reason to, well, trust anyone here.
I am very trustworthy, Roshek. This is, after all, my realm. Still, perhaps it doesn't matter anymore. He takes another sip of his drink. Anything else on your minds, friends? It is a lovely storm tonight.
If you think, well, killing you won't make a difference. I've heard hints before that Well, you might be the servant of something as well. Is that the truth?
I am a servant of death, as are we all.
Yeah. I suppose that's right. But what exactly would bring back the lights to these lands?
What an interesting question. Still, before we begin, I don't suppose a man is allowed a final drink. Is he?
You're already drinking, aren't you?
I haven't quite finished. He chuckles a little, swirling a final little bit of red in that glass.
I bring out the sword, and I call forth the shimmering blade, and I say, you had your time and your chance. We wouldn't want you to be bored any minute longer.
Yes, why don't you simply sit there in your little throne, I say, and lift up the holy symbol of Ravenkind, and I expend one of its charges to hold vampires. I don't wish him to leave his throne.
You lift your holy symbol in the air and feel a powerful emanation come from it. Strahd blinks a little and smiles. He does a little cracking of his neck and simply remarks, "Oh, come now, Roshek, Roman. That was the opening move. Barely felt a thing." And you feel the spell sort of shimmer a little and clearly be resisted.
I put down the symbol and I raise my mace and my shield and I get ready.
Indeed you do. Roshek, suddenly you feel something. There's an impatience behind you, apprehension, expectation. You hear your mother's voice. My son, you've done so well. This is it. This is the moment. It's coming. Not quite yet, but just a moment more. Are you ready? Are you ready? And you just then hear your father, almost in your other ear, remark, "He is never ready. As always, he is ready to fail."
I say, I am ready! And I let the sword blaze with full light, and I start charging towards the Count.
You do, and as you step forward, you hear jubilation, exultation. You are ready, and your mother screams, "Strike down the priest!"
And I'm... Wait.
And as the seconds tick by, you hear once again, "Yes, this is it, my son. The priest. Strike him down. You can do this. I believe in you." And your father, laughter echoing, "And already, my son, you fail. As always, you fail. No, don't listen to him, Roshek. You can do this. Strike him down."
And you see me stop in my motion as I was about to go, and I flail about, and I turn to you, and I look at you with a manic look. It is you. It's you I have to strike down.
Roshek, no, it's the Count. Don't you see? He's manipulating you. He's been trying to manipulate us from the start. Don't listen to what he has to say. Remember, you must kill the devil. And he is the devil.
You hear your mother's voice once again. "Yes, my son. Strike him down and then kill the devil. This is your moment."
It doesn't make any sense. Why would I? Why? He's helping me kill the devil.
And your father begins to laugh. "And you fail, my son. The moment is passing, and you hesitate." And your mother sounds panicked, concerned. No, it's not too late. Just strike him down. You promised you wouldn't hesitate. My son, why are you hesitating?"
And I scream out in anger and frustration, and I start cleaving the air around me and the furniture, and I rage.
And you rage. Roman, what are you doing? Roshek is... Something is happening. He is going all over the place. You look and see Strahd merely watching, almost a bit bored, more smirking at you. What do you do?
I must not let this distraction take us away from what we're here to do. I will unleash my guiding bolt upon the Count, and I will prove what I am here to do. I will prove my loyalty to our cause, and I will cast guiding bolts.
Roshek, you see Roman holding his hand. A spell is charging. It's aimed at you. What do you do?
I fling to the side. I jump to the side, trying to avoid it.
And you hear your mother shrieking, wailing, "My son!" And one final laugh from your father. "I knew you'd fail, my boy. I knew you'd fail." And what do you do as you sort of roll to the side and hear this?
I bring up my shield to ward off the spell.
Roll initiative, Roman.
16.
Roll your attack.
I roll 11.
And you raise your hand and fire bolts of holy radiance directly at that throne, directly on an empty throne, as Strahd has already stepped deftly out of the way. The throne, however, does explode in radiant energies and light, falling into pieces. He frowns at you, remarking loudly, "Not very sporting, are we, attacking a man while he's drinking his drink?" Roshek, the attack has gone off. Roman has fired his holy bolts on a throne. It seems he missed you. You are now on the floor, shield raised. You hear your mother wailing in misery and unhappiness, and your father's laughter of victory all around you. What do? She simply meekly remarks, "I believe in you, my son. You can strike him down." But she's fading. Your father's voice far louder now. What do?
I start to assume that Roman must be hearing the same thing. Maybe he's been hearing the same thing all along. And I try to convince him, "Stop firing on me. It's a trick."
I'm not firing at you. I'm firing at the Count. He was on the throne. Yes.
And I look over. That makes sense. The bolt went past me. It went to the throne. He must have intentionally missed. And I try to push the voices away, and I look at the Count standing up there, and I say, "You're trying to take my mind."
Strahd looks at his throne, smouldering ever so slightly. The direwolves have definitely been alarmed by this and sort of backed off, although they are now growling heavily at the pair of you. Strahd turns to you and lets out a very long sigh. "Oh, Roshek, you failed your final test. That is disappointing. I suppose I did have too much faith in you." And you hear his voice in your head. His voice, not your mother's or your father's, just his, remarking, "But I am curious. You only had to strike down a priest, and then me. What caused you to hesitate? You always seem to hesitate before your final goals, Roshek. Why? You don't care about this priest, do you? More than your own goals?"
And I shake my head. "No, I do not. But there is no honor in it. There is no match in it." And I look towards Roman. "He is but a priest. He's no true warrior."
Well, he looks to you, Roman. "That's a ringing endorsement from your ally. Oh well, I suppose the game is up. Yes, Roshek, you had a destiny. and you have failed to achieve your destiny. You could have become so much more than you are, but it seems you have chosen instead to be nothing. How does that feel?
I don't belong standing next to anyone. I am my own. People standing next to me, they'll fall along the wayside. That has and will be my destiny. If he manages to survive, then I suppose that's his test. And I turn back to the Count. Ready yourself, Count Strahd.
Oh, I will ready myself, but you have to give me at least a final bit of curiosity. I didn't say anything about standing beside me, Roshek. You would have stood beyond me. Been greater than me. Instead, you wish to be lesser than me. Is that correct? It seems to be it. All you had to do was strike down a priest.
And what difference would that have made if I fell to your mind games?
Everything. I haven't been lying to you. It has not been your mother and father. This is true. But I have been telling you the truth the whole time, Roshek. You are destined for great things. This was your final test. You haven't failed yet. Just saying.
What do I make of this?
You have no idea. All you do know is that all certainty is gone. That feeling you felt, the prophecy of the blade, their voices telling you to find things, you suddenly feel completely empty. You feel, if anything, exactly like you used to feel before any of this occurred. How you used to feel when you were just in your band of warriors, killing people on the roads for their money.
Lost. A bit meaningless. So all that came from him. That is also disappointing. But for me, the test would still be there. If I destroy him and succeed where others have failed, that still puts me above, well, anyone in these lands. Anyone who has come and tried and failed. If I can do that, surely that's a worthy purpose. And I sort of steel myself and I draw a deep breath. And I focus instead. Enough of this raging. I feel a bit of water running down my back. Mix of rainwater and sweat from the exertions. And I feel that it's time to be more than my father and my mother. It's time that I am the battle master I myself chose to become. That is the only one choice that I made for myself. And that is my worthy goal.
You notice Strahd looking at you intently this whole time, and he almost seems to react immediately to your thoughts, simply saying aloud, "Very well. I did think there was always a chance that you would be a disappointment. And because I respect you, Roshek, not you, Roman, I will let you in a little something. Yes. You had actually already failed to achieve what I was going to give you. I think you know when that was. I'll only ask once, Roman, and then I believe we will finally begin. How did you do it? Will you at least tell me that?"
Do what?
Finally, his smug countenance and calmness seems to be fading a little. You notice him clutching the chair, splintering the wood ever so slightly as he crushes it under his hand. "Do not play games with me, priest. I am the one who plays the games. What did you do to Tatiana? What did you do to make her come to her death as you did?
You are talking about Irina. Irina made a choice. She chose death over you.
He interrupts you. She did not make a choice, priest. She did not have the option to. You cast a spell, some sort of magic. You then, of course, ran from the scene, and, well, she is no longer here. You took from me the only thing that actually matters in this entire godforsaken hellhole. How did you do it?
And I shall tell you again, I did nothing. You will have to accept that she would choose death over you, that your love would choose death over being with you. It seems that your little affair was very much one-sided. Now live with that, Count.
And he starts to laugh. You two lecture me. Ah, very well. Enough games, then. As lord of this land, I'd pass my sentence on you. For your crimes against my people, for the harm you did to the town of Valakai, the many deaths you incurred there, for the horrors you inflicted on poor Kresik, such a safe haven until its abbot slain and its people massacred by your coming, for the poor town of Barovia and the innocents you slew there, both Tatiana and her poor brother, although, well, we'll see where he is later on, I suppose. And, of course, for all those poor Vistani and the wild men. So much murder and discord and horror you've inflicted upon my land, far better than I could. You both performed your roles very well. Still, instead of honoring our bargains, I suppose you wish to die. So yes, I find you guilty of all crimes. How do you plead?
I suppose we are guilty. But there's one crime we have left to commit, and that is ending you.
And he laughs once again as the thunder rolls in from outside and the lightning flashes in the area. The two dire hounds growl ready for battle, and he tilts his head and remarks, "In that case, it is time for you to die."
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Curse of Strahd for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Curse of Strahd was designed by Christopher Perkins and based on the adventure Ravenloft, written by Tracy and Laura Hickman in 1983. Dungeons & Dragons is published by Wizards of the Coast. The music is created by Metatron Omega, Flowers for Body Snatchers, and Word Clock, and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more tasty dark ambient. A new episode of Red Moon Roleplaying is released every Friday. Please like our Facebook page and give us feedback, comments, and input there. You can also visit us at redmoonroleplaying.com. Finally, a huge thank you to our growing base of supporters. You are truly amazing and inspire us so much to keep going with the show. If you haven't yet found us on Patreon, please have a look at the links in the description and see if you want to show your appreciation and encourage our work with the show there. While the show will always be free of charge to our listeners, Patreon supporters have access to extra material such as our bonus Q&A podcast Ask for the Moon, where we discuss all topics and questions our Patreons have for us. You can even get access to the full-length, raw and unedited versions of our gaming sessions way before they are released as finished episodes. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to meeting again next week.